Everyone loves a crossover. Welcome back, my fellow gamers. I'm your host, Amanda McKnight, and this is Top 10 Gaming. Today we're going to be imagining what it would be like if two of our favorite gaming universes met as we contemplate which Pokemon would become the most terrifying were they to appear in the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise. Join me as we count down the top 10 scary Pokemon that need to be in FNAF. Which would we most want to see there, and which would we run the fastest from in fear? Let's find out and get counting. Number 10, Snorlax. Snorlax might not seem like a scary Pokemon. In fact, they are not creepy by their own nature, but if put into the FNAF world, this is a Pokemon that could be made instantly scary. I'm just imagining Snorlax as a big, lumbering, and imposing figure, as Snorlax kind of has that perfect large size and presence similar to the animatronics. For some reason, I can just imagine Snorlax fitting in with the other mascots and consuming not just one person whose soul would remain trapped inside it, but multiple. Just think of how big Snorlax is and how much it can eat. It's basically the Pokemon version of a giant bear. Of course, at least after it had sated its hunger, it would probably be pretty easy to escape as it would likely get pretty sleepy, but before then, it would be a terrifying beast to battle in the FNAF-verse. Number 9, Mimikyu. Mimikyu is a fitting type of Pokemon for FNAF, being that it is a ghost type, one of the scariest types. Also, Mimikyu likes to hide its appearance already in a kind of suit. Okay, not really like an animatronic suit, more like a rag, but still, there are some parallels here. We don't actually know what the original Mimikyu looks like under the rag because it always keeps itself hidden, its eyes peering out through its disguise at us. Kind of like the souls, or like the true murderous intentions perhaps, living within the animatronics. Of course, I don't think Mimikyu is as sinister with its intentions as a FNAF animatronic is, but if it were considered one of the team in the FNAF-verse working alongside Foxy, Chica, Bonnie, and Freddy, then mayhaps that would change. And friends, before we move on to this next spot, if you are enjoying this list and you want more crossover lists like it, let us know by giving this video a thumbs up. Number 8, Alakazam. For some reason, when it comes to Alakazam, I can imagine a whole attraction at Freddy's featuring this Pokemon. Stay with me here. Something we haven't seen yet is some kind of fortune-telling animatronic, despite the fact that fortune-telling animatronics can be a staple at fairs and various entertainment venues. Whenever I see one of these, I'm always myself inclined to ask a question, enter some coins, and get my fortune told by a robo-fortune teller. Alakazam could fit this mold perfectly, and while Alakazam maybe isn't that scary to look at, psychic types are always pretty frightening to fight against. Also, I feel like Alakazam was one of the Pokemon that I was most afraid of when I was a kid. Number 7, Gengar. Gengar is the final evolution of Ghastly, evolving from Haunter. Gengar seems like a perfect fit for the FNAF-verse in my mind because it looks so cuddly but is also known for being deadly. It is a dual ghost and poison type Pokemon who is known for being mischievous and for devouring the dreams of those it preys on. Generally, Gengar only comes out at night, which also seems to fit pretty well considering the main stories that we play through generally take place at night in FNAF. I think Gengar is the perfect combination of one who seems like it could be fun and friendly, but is actually much more sinister than it looks, much like the animatronics featured in FNAF. Number 6, Blastoise. Blastoise is another Pokemon that by itself is not really that frightening, but in the world of FNAF would be a terrifying one to face off against. Just look up pictures of a robot version of Blastoise, because there's art for that, and you will see what I'm talking about. This Pokemon is by far one of the most terrifying in this reimagined form. Either way you look at it, robot or organic, Blastoise is just a Pokemon that means business, coming ready to fight and armed with its cannons, which launch water at its opponents. Its Hydro Blasts are powerful enough to break through concrete or steel, so I want to imagine what they might do to a security guard working the night shift at Freddy's. I feel like you'd be pretty messed up with those water cannons. Number 5, Bisharp. Something about the fact that Bisharp already looks like a razor-clad automaton makes me feel pretty uneasy about this Pokemon. Bisharp has blades for feet and arms and blades in its torso. It's a combo dark and steel type Pokemon. I don't know about you, but other than ghost Pokemon, I don't think there are two better types, especially when blended together, that seem to encompass the feel of the FNAF universe. Like if animatronics were Pokemon, they'd probably be dark and steel types too. You know what I mean? Number 4, Mega Beedrill. Bzzz. I know that Beedrill is an insect Pokemon, but we don't really have any insect animatronics, which is actually why I'd kind of like to see this one in the FNAF universe. I just think insects, especially ones with stingers, can be pretty creepy and dangerous and scary, and animatronics with their ability to jump scare and crush you are also pretty horrific, like insects, but different. So these seem like two worlds that could collide well. Mega Beedrill is the Mega Evolved version of Beedrill and basically just looks more frightening with more pointed drills and no spindly insect legs. It also just looks like an angrier version of Beedrill. Mega Beedrill, while not at the height of some of the animatronics, is also bigger than the regular Beedrill counterpart. I feel like a giant flying bee or wasp looking animatronic with drills for arms sounds pretty terrifying. Number 3, Haunter. I don't usually highlight Haunter as much when I'm talking scary Pokemon, even if I'm talking about ghost Pokemon. And recognizing how left out this Pokemon might feel, I decided I should include it on this list, where it's actually a completely perfect fit based on its modus operandi. It would fit perfectly in FNAF 3, where we are plagued by the real-life animatronic of Springtrap, as well as non-physical hallucinations and ghosts. Haunter itself is non-corporeal, meaning that it has no physical and solid body, but is instead an immaterial ghost and poison type Pokemon, which can drift through walls. Ooh, spooky. Haunter is also known for trying to spook its victims. It generally lurks in the dark, urging those who pass to come nearer before unleashing its toxic tongue on them. Just saying, I can already see the jump scare in my mind. A lick from Haunter will ultimately result in seizures followed by death. Seems like it would fit really well in FNAF. It has a jump scare and then you die. I'm just saying. Number 2, Genesect. Genesect is a modified fossil type made into basically a robot. It's a steel and fossil type Pokemon in its current incarnation. Genesect was resurrected from a fossil, but was technologically improved upon by Team Plasma. And in its original form as a fossil type, Genesect has a history of being known for being a hunter. What more do you need to know here? An instinctive hunter Pokemon who was originally something more organic and is now more machine than anything else. This seems to fit all too well with the world of FNAF. Not only would Genesect fit in, they would also likely be just as, if not more, terrifying than some of the original animatronics. I don't think I want to live in a world where Pokemon are inherently murderous as opposed to being inherently wild or friendly. Sounds scary. Number 1, Drifloon. Does it get any more thematic than this? Drifloon is literally a Pokemon known for stealing away children who see it as a regular balloon. It's like if Balloon Boy had a balloon that was just as deadly as any of the other animatronics at Freddy's Pizza. In fact, that is probably who I would partner Drifloon up with, were it to be included in the FNAF verse. It would make the perfect companion or sidekick to Balloon Boy. In fact, Drifloon is so spooky, it might actually end up becoming sort of the main antagonist between that duo. And of course, in case you were wondering, Drifloon is itself a ghost and flying type Pokemon, who of course happens to look like a balloon. What are some Pokemon that you would love to see in the FNAF verse? Which Pokemon do you think would make the scariest animatronic? And which do you think are the scariest Pokemon in general? Let us know in the comments below. And speaking of comments, it's time to turn to some comments from one of our latest videos, Top 10 Scary FNAF Sister Location Facts. For Men Jr. comments, one fact that all of us can't deny is William Afton always comes back. Oh, you know he does, and you know he's coming back again in Security Breach. XX Gotcha Evelyn XX writes, well, have a nice day today, everyone. Yeah, I hope you have a nice day too, Evelyn. Thanks for wishing us all a nice day. Snickerdoodle theorizes, I feel like William's motivation was similar to the story of Frankenstein. William and Victor both intended to create life or allow for dead bodies to somehow become alive again. The monster was made of corpses, and the animatronics held inside murdered bodies who would possess them. They were both punished by their loved ones being murdered for their doings. Victor was punished by God, and William was punished by Cassidy. They both created monsters that would later go off the rail and turn against them for being reckless, irresponsible, and selfish. And they were both somewhat scientists. William specified in mechanics and machinery, while Victor focused on the human body. They used that to create immortality, which is also seen as trying to be like God, which they would be punished for. Meh, I thought it was cool. I don't know anymore. I like how you finished that entire, I think it's actually a really good comparison of Frankenstein to the story in FNAF and what we see there. I think definitely I see those parallels, and I love how you just finished it with meh, I guess this was okay. Like, give yourself more kudos. Give yourself a pat on the back. That was a good comparison. I think it was well thought out, and I agree with you. Yeah, I definitely see those parallels myself. I feel like there's so many people in the comments that will sometimes like hate on themselves for putting themselves out there, and I'm like, don't do that. Don't call yourself stupid. Don't hate on yourself. If you're watching this now, don't do it. Don't do it. Be nice to yourself. Love yourself. Do that for me. Please and thank you. And that's all the time we have for comments today. Be sure to comment below for a chance to have your thoughts and feels shouted out in a future video. This has been Top 10 Gaming, and I'm your host, Amanda McKnight, reminding you to keep on gaming on. Pew pew!